It's related to delivery by the teacher, how to, sorry, I made a mistake. Yeah, the curriculum means what the student should be able to do. And then learning and teaching, it means how to make the student achieve the outcome. And finally, assessment, that's how to measure what the student has already achieved. Now, let's have a look at the key components of outcome-based education. There is a, here you see visual representation. Actually, outcome-based education starts with the vision of an entity or department or faculty or even an institution like a university or college. And based on a vision, there are several missions, and the vision and missions are then related to program educational objectives or PEO, then program outcomes, what the students will be able to do after the completion of the program PO, and program outcomes are directly related to the graduate, and these are called graduate attributes. And program outcomes are based on the outcomes of the courses. A program may have many different courses, 10, 12, 20, 30, or 40 courses, and every course has some outcomes. Course outcomes are also called course objectives or intended learning outcomes, and the course objectives constitute the program objectives or program outcomes. And this is a visual design of outcome-based education. Let's have some ideas of visions and missions. A vision is a futuristic statement that the institution department would like to achieve over a period of time. Vision statements are essentially the means to achieve the vision. Here I have put two examples. The first one for vision, create high quality ELT professionals. ELT means English language teaching professionals. And based on this vision, I've got one mission here, for example, the program offers a well-balanced, the department offers a well-balanced program of instruction, practical experience, and opportunities for overall personality development. And based on the mission and vision, I have already told you, program educational objectives or PEOs. Program educational objectives are broad statements that describe the careers and professional accomplishments that the program is preparing a graduate to achieve. Here we can have some guidelines for PEOs. Number one, PEOs should be consistent with the mission of the institution or department. The number of PEOs should be manageable. PEOs should be achievable by the program. PEOs should be narrow and specific to the program. PEOs should be based on the needs of the constituencies. Here I have just shown in a tabular form, I have shown PEO's vision and mission. You see here, vision to be a leading department of English for creation. Yeah, I have just put examples. To be a leading department of English for creation, preservation, and dissemination of knowledge, training of students for nation building, and providing continuous support for English education in Bangladesh. Based on this vision, I have got 3 missions: to produce multi-skilled graduates who are able to spearhead nation building in the 21st century, provide opportunities and resources for academics and researchers to carry out the state-of-the-art research and development work. And number three, support the growth of nationwide English educators through provision of continuous professional development. And here, based on the mission statements and vision, we have got two PEOs to develop highly competent English educators specializing in the area of ELT and English literature to produce innovative and efficient graduates able to contribute to the achievement of different sectors of the country. And here you see the next component, including program outcomes. Program outcomes are narrower statements that describe what students are expected to know and be able to do by the time of graduation. Here I have put 4 guidelines for the POs or program outcomes. Program outcomes basically describe knowledge, skills, and behavior of students as they progress through the program as well as by the time of graduation. POs should not be too broad. POs must align with the graduate attributes. POs must reflect all the graduate attributes. And here I have put some points related to course outcomes or intended learning outcomes. They should be student focused, not teacher focused. There should be alignment between course, program, and institutional levels. Focus on abilities central to the discipline. Focus on aspects of learning that will endure, limited to a manageable number, specific enough to be measurable, and Bloom's taxonomy. So here, Bloom's taxonomy is very important. And now I'm just zeroing in on Bloom's taxonomy. Just give me a second. Do you see Bloom's taxonomy? Hello, audience. Do you see Bloom's taxonomy? Hello. Do you see this slide? Am I clearly audible?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. So now I'm briefly discussing Bloom's taxonomy. You see here is the introduction. In 1950s, Benjamin Bloom developed a taxonomy, and here taxonomy functions as means of qualitatively expressing different kinds of thinking. It provides a way to organize thinking skills into 6 levels. I'm showing just a minute later. From the most basic to the higher order levels of thinking. But in 1950s, Bloom's student Anderson revisited Bloom's taxonomy, and then we have got this picture. You see, along the left-hand side, we see the original 6 levels proposed by Bloom, but in 1990s, the student revised the 6 levels and renamed. You see, evaluation is the highest level of learning. Creating, Bloom said evaluation, but his student said Creating is the highest level of learning. We are now concentrating on the revised one, which is now in use. Creating is the highest level of learning, then evaluating, then analyzing, applying, understanding, and remembering is the lowest level of learning. And here I have shown the 6 levels of learning with some brief explanations. Creating means generating new ideas, products, or ways of viewing things, designing, constructing, planning, producing, or inventing. It's creation or creating. Evaluating means justifying a decision or course of action, checking, hypothesizing, critiquing, experimenting, judging. Analyzing, breaking information into parts to explore understandings and relationships, comparing, organizing, constructing, interrogating, finding. Then applying, using information in another familiar situation, implementing, carrying out, using, and executing. Understanding. Understanding means explaining ideas or concepts, interpreting, summarizing, paraphrasing, classifying, explaining. And the lowest level of learning, there's remembering, recognizing, listing, describing, retrieving, naming, finding, etc. And Bloom has given 6 lists of words or lists of action verbs for explaining, for expressing the 6 levels of learning. And for remembering, I have already explained what remembering means. Remembering is consistent with a question. There's, can you recall information? And for expressing remembering, we use this list of action verbs. And similarly, for understanding, which is inconsistent with the question, can you explain ideas or concepts? There is a set or list of action verbs. These are the action verbs which are used for understanding. Is the second level of learning. And then the third level of learning, it's in harmony with the question, can you use the information in another situation, familiar situation? It has a list of action verbs, and here you see on the slide. And the fourth level of learning, analyzing, is in consistency with the question, can you break information into parts to explain? Just give me a second. To explore understanding. Do you see the slides clearly? To explore understandings and relationships. And it has a list of words. You see, this is a list of action verbs used for expressing, analyzing. And it's the fifth level of learning, in consistency with the question, can you justify a decision or course of action? And the action verbs for evaluating are in this list: judge, rate, choose, etc. And it's the highest level of learning. I already told you. Creating, it's in harmony with the question, can you generate new products, ideas, or ways of viewing things? And for expressing, creating, there is a list of action verbs. And these action verbs, as I have already told you, these action verbs are very important for writing goals and objectives program goals or objectives, course objectives, everything. Let's now see how to write learning outcomes. Just give me a second. Do you see slides? Hello, audience. Do you see slides? Hello. Am I
Yes,
audible?
sir.
Okay,
Yes,
thank
yes.
you. Yeah, we have already seen that when we are designing an outcome-based curriculum, we have objectives at different levels. First of all, we can have program outcomes, then we can have course outcomes, and here you see uh, today's presentation started with one goal and several objectives, but we have to know here how to write goals and objectives. And for writing goals and objectives, we have to use action verbs advocated by Bloomfield and his student Anderson. And here, let's first try to understand what goals and objectives stand for. Goals and objectives actually mean two different things. Listing the course goals and objectives is the clearest way to communicate expectations to students. So, goals and objectives are very important, and the curriculum is a good place for them. Well written goals and objectives inform all on what is to be learned, number one. Number two, what instructional strategies are appropriate. And number three, how assessment will happen. Let's now try to understand what a goal means. Goals are broad, generalized statements about what's to be learned. Think of a goal as a target to be reached or hit. For example, the students will be able to apply proper grammar to composition papers. It may be a goal. The students will be able to apply proper grammar to composition papers. Here it's very broad, very much generalized. Proper grammar means a lot of things, parts of speech, use of verbs, adjectives, adverbs, prepositions, tenses, everything. It's very broad. But when we think of objectives, they are very much narrow. They are specific. Instructional objectives are specific, number one. Number two, measurable. Number three, short term. Number four, observable. To observable student behaviors. So here we have got 4 points. Number one, objectives have to be specific, measurable, short term, and observable student behaviors. Objectives lead to related activities and good assessment. Objectives are tools to ensure the students reach the course goals. Different archeries, I have used an analogy here just for better understanding. Different archers have different styles, so do different teachers. When we teachers are teaching a topic, uh, all the teachers don't necessarily teach the topic in the same way. Different teachers may have many different ways, different modes. You can shoot your arrows, that's objectives in many ways. The important thing is that they reach your target. The target means the goal, and score that bull's-eye. And objectives can be of three types: cognitive skills, including mental skills or knowledge. Number two, affective objectives or skills, including a person's, students' beliefs, attitudes, views, opinions, and psychomotor skills or objectives, including physical skills. And here you see how to write objectives. Objectives should specify four main components. Number one, audience. Number two, behavior. Number three, condition. And number four, degree. That's why taking the first letter of each of the components, we have got the ABCD model. A, B, C, D. Here A means audience, B means behavior, C means condition, and D means degree. Audience means here who, that's who is this aimed at, the objective aimed at, necessarily the students. And behavior, that's what do you expect them means the students to be able to do after the completion of a program or course. And the behavior is expressed or described by using action verbs. We have already seen in Bloom's taxonomy. And we use action verbs to describe an overt, observable behavior. Condition means how, under what circumstances or conditions will learning take place. And finally, degree, how much. It means how much our students will be able to achieve something, and how much must be measurable. It may be numerically measurable, 1, 2, 3, or in terms of percentage, 1% or 5% or 10% in different units, but not based on conjectures or guesses. Yeah, I've written some example objectives. Number one, I have shown a psychomotor objective. Here is all the four components, A, B, C, D. Let's go through it, read it. Given a standard balance beam raised to a standard height, it's the condition. The student dressed in pink attire, it's the audience, will be able to walk the entire length of the balance beam. It's the behavior. Now, degree, steadily, without falling off, and within a 6-second time span. Another one example showing the cognitive skills or objective. Given examples and non-examples of constructivist activities in a college classroom, the student will be able to accurately identify the constructivist examples and explain why each example is or isn't a constructivist activity in 20 words or less. Here you see we have got all the four components: audience, behavior, condition, and degree, marked in different colors. Another one example showing a cognitive objective. Given a sentence written in the past to present tense, the student will be able to write the sentence in tense with no errors in tense or tense contradiction. That's I will see her yesterday. Here's an example. Okay. Yeah, given a sentence written in the past or present tense is the condition. the student audience will be able to rewrite the sentence in future tense. It's the behavior. The degree is with no errors in tense or tense contradiction. Another one example showing an effective objective given the opportunity to work in a team with several people of different races, condition. The BA student audience will demonstrate a positive increase in attitude toward non-discrimination of race behavior as measured by a checklist utilized by non-team members. Here's the degree. Now let's get back to the previous example showing the psychomotor skill. Yeah, the goal is walk the length of a balance beam, and the objective derived from the goal is given a standard balance beam raised to a standard height. The student dressed in pink attire to be able to walk the entire length of the balance beam steadily without falling off and within a 6-second time span. You can have a look at the picture along the right hand side. And to here, we have already seen the goal and objective, and to measure the goal and objective, so we can use a test here. The student must walk the entire length of a standard balance beam raised to a standard height steadily without falling off and within a 6-second time span. Note how this part reflects the objective. 3 judges will observe a given individual perform this task 3 times using a given scoring rubric to assign a score for each trial. The trial score for each trial is the average of all the judges' score. The overall score for the individual is the trial score for each trial is the average of all the judges, 3 judges we have already seen scores, and the overall score for the individual is the average of the 3 trial scores. And now here I have put shown the rubric I have used for measuring the goal. Here I have put some points starting the highest point includes 5, then 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. 5 is awarded to a person who works the balance beam flawlessly, doesn't need to check balance, doesn't pause, and completes the work within 6 seconds. Then the second one, 4, works the beam but is somewhat unsteady, completes the work within 6 seconds. 3, for the person who works the beam but is somewhat unsteady, may pause 1 or 2 times, takes more than 6 seconds to complete the work. And 2, for the person who works the beam but is very unsteady, almost falling off, may pause 1 or 2 times and or takes more than 6 seconds. 1, for the person who falls off the beam before completing the work, and 0 for the person who falls off the beam immediately. Now let's state our knowledge of writing goals and objectives. What's missing in this objective? Can you tell me? The student dressed in blue attire will be able to run 100 yards in less than 50 seconds. Can you tell me what this objective misses? Hello, audience?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what's missing in this objective? The condition is missing. There is the condition. The condition is missing. Under what conditions? On a track, up a hill with a 45-degree slope. See how leaving this part out can drastically affect what and how you teach. Another one, test. You see, another one, objective. Given the appropriate text, the student in green will recite a famous haiku poem from that text. What's missing here? You see, the degree is missing. How must the student recite it flawlessly with expression? Leaving this component out makes it very difficult to assess student performance. Another one test here, you see, it's a group work. Is it possible for you to do something in groups? It's a little difficult, isn't it? Okay, let me stop sharing this slide. Just give me a second. Do you see slides? Hello, ma'am.
Yes, sir. We could see your slide.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, as I started with the point, with the title of my presentation, outcome-based curriculum design. So it's naturally expected uh, what components an outcome-based curriculum contains or has. So now my concentration is on the components of an outcome-based curriculum. And before that, I have already discussed with you several important and essential items. I started with some ideas about outcome-based education, and I have discussed visions, missions, and program outcomes, course outcomes, how, Bloom's taxonomy, how to write uh, outcomes or objectives or goals. And now let's have a look at the major components of an outcome-based curriculum. And here you see number one component. We should determine the title of the program. For example, BA Honors in English, Language, or Literature. It may be the title of a program. The second component is the vision. The vision is used for providing state-of-the-art knowledge and skills of something, for example. And based on the vision, we can have several missions or mission statements. I have already shown you, I have already shared examples with you. And here I have put some examples: provide quality education in the field of English literature, to produce English educators who could contribute considerably to nation development or national development, and to create and disseminate knowledge and skills for English language teachers and students as well. The fourth component is the program educational objectives, or we can say program objectives, POs. I already discussed and exemplified. And here I have also exemplified: provide outcome-based education with cutting-edge knowledge of and expertise in English language, English literature, ELT, linguistics, blah, blah, blah. Component number 5, program outcomes. After the completion of the program, the students will be able to, number one, you see here, I have used 3 levels of learning: cognitive, affective and psychomotor. The students will be able to demonstrate a comprehensive understanding of something, analyze, synthesize, and integrate knowledge and information within the context of something. In this way, I have just shown examples. The sixth component is the course structure. Program duration, 4 years. Number of terms, 8 terms, each of 6 months. Term duration, 21 weeks. Total number of credit hours available, 183. Minimum credit hours to be earned or achieved, 161. It's within the sixth component. The seventh component here, 6.1 you see have elaborated on. 6.1 summary of the total available credits. We may have both core and optional elective courses, and I have shown the credits. I have just distributed the credits according to the core and optional courses. You can have a look at the let me just explain the first one. Area of study, we have to specify an area. Then the area may have 91 core courses and 33 optional courses, and these are all related to theories. And we can have lab or sessional or fieldwork related activities for core and optional courses. Here for core courses, we have got 6 credits, but for optional courses, nothing, 0. In total, for core courses, 91 plus 26, 117, and optional courses, 33, and total credits, 150. In this way, we have to distribute the credits in different area of studies. And here you see, term-wise or semester-wise distribution of credits. For example, first year, the same similar things happen to all the years. I'm here explaining the first year only. First year may have 2 terms of semesters, first semester and second semester or term. Core courses 16, optional nothing. Core, these are theoretical courses, and sessional or fieldwork related courses. Core courses 4, optional nothing. So in total 20. In this way, I have here just shown the credits of the whole program distributed to different terms of semesters in different years, in total 4 years. And then you see here course outlines, term or year-wise course outline for the entire program. And here, when we are outlining the courses, we have to spell out all the important points here. The first term of a semester, there may be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11 courses or less or more courses. And then we have to write the titles of the courses here. And along the left-hand side, we have to write the course codes. And then we have to, against the course titles, we have to write the credits. A course may be of 3 credits or 1 credit or 4 credits. Then we have to write the credit hours per week. And then we have to put the course details. After outlining the courses, we have to write the course details of each and every courses. When we are detailing a course, first of all, we have to write the rationale of a course. Then we have to write the objectives, course objectives. Course objectives are written according to the ABCD model. A course objective must have A means audience, number 1. Number 2, B, behavior, student behavior. Number 3, C means condition, and D, degree. Then intended learning outcomes. And after that, we have to write the objectives here. After the completion of the course, the students will be able to do something. Then we have to write the course contents, which will help students achieve the learning outcomes. Then we have to write here the assessment system, how we will measure how far the students have achieved the learning outcomes. And we have to write instructional techniques, strategies, how we will teach the contents so that the students will be able to achieve the learning outcomes. After that, we have to specify the materials we are going to use for teaching the content, and we have to write equipment and technology, what technological tools or equipment we are going to use for teaching and learning. Thank you very much for your patience. Okay, ma'am?
Sir, am I audible?
Yeah, very clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all about my presentation, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. There was a network glitch here. That's why I couldn't log in.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you so much for sharing your expertise, sir. And actually, we are going to face NAC within a couple of days, and this sort of presentation is really of great help for all of us. And thank you so much for sharing your valuable time with us. For sure, I assure that we will just go through all these curriculum design, and in future, when we are working on this curriculum, this will be of a great help for us. And with your permission, if you could share your PPT as well through mail, we may use it for our future prospects. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I wish your conference very big success. And I already told you, I'm really honored to have been invited here. And it's very nice to share my ideas with the audience uh, online. Thank you very much, ma'am. Take care. Wish me luck. I wish
Thank
you all
you.
the best. Bye bye.
Thank you so much, sir. Bye bye. Take care. You can log off, sir.